Hello and welcome. I'm Adri Gregan, and I'm back for My Hero Academia Vigilantes, the show that literally anybody ever asked for. As I've said before, this show is just for me, really. So, in the spirit of that, I'm actually going to be watching these in pairs of episodes. At least I'm going to try that and see how that goes. And we'll probably get through it a little faster that way. And once that's done, we'll see what we watch next. But we're here with Vigilantes. We just started it last time, and it's been a bit of a rocky start, just because my Saturday slot is kind of like a coin flip whether I'll be able to do it or not. I think it should be clear from now on for the three of you who are actually watching this, but it should be good from here on out. So last time, though, we had episode 1, of course. We had the OP, the ED, and we, more importantly, met our three main characters. We met Koichi, Popstep, and Knuckle Duster, I think his name was. And we met a world that is so similar yet so different from MHA, the main story. The most interesting difference for me being the difference between our main characters. Izuku Midoriya, obviously the boy whose body moved without thinking, versus Koichi, the boy whose body moves 2 to 3 business days after thinking. Yet they both clearly have hearts of the true heart of a hero, just in their own ways. So I'm really curious to see how these parallels will build out, and how they're similar yet very distinct from each other, and kind of the overlap, which we ended off last episode with Shoto Aizawa, who looks like he's not really doing hero work because the sun's still out. He's probably just coming home from work or something. And Knuckle Duster, who's getting ready to dust a salaryman with his knuckles, is now being, well, after threatening the salaryman, is now being seen as the exact person that he's trying to hunt down. So this will be interesting. I don't think we'll have much of a fight on our hands. I assume we'll be able to talk our way out of this, or at least we'll try. But then again, they are also vigilantes, so they're technically illegal. So I don't know. We'll have to see what Aizawa does. It's really a coin flip. I mean, these aren't his beloved students, so I'm sure we'll see a very different side to him as we've seen in the main show, but there's only one really way to find out, so I'm just going to hop into it. Real quick before that, though, if you do enjoy the video, please do leave a like. It helps me out a lot, and it helps show the algorithm that people enjoy it, so it'll show it to more people. And same thing with commenting. And if you want to help yourself out, subscribing lets you get notified when I publish this every week. Or if you want to watch the shows I'm watching throughout the week, I've got Freerin and JJK Season 2 going on right now. So yeah, subscribing it lets you get notified when those come out. But with all that YouTuber housekeeping out of the way, let's hop into My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Episode 2. We've got the MHA OSTs playing too in this show. It really helps us ground us in the same world, right? He works underground. Off duty, yeah. I don't know if you're off work today, per se, though. What else would he think you are? And of course he's going in for the fight. I should have expected that. I genuinely should have. Talk no jutsu only works if you want to talk. Yup. Of course he's loving it. But you don't stand a chance against Aizawa, come on. Yeah, this is work. Whew. Nice moves. Oh, wow. Little comic book effects, the wind. Super fun. Is it a heteromorph quirk? So I'm pretty sure the quirks that are like constantly on can't be turned off. Well, I know we've seen that from season 1, but... Huh. How interesting. The Knuckle Duster. Such a crazy name. So fun. I can't get over how striking the colors in this opening are. So fun. So great at setting the scene. Setting the tone. We also saw that guy last episode. Really curious who he is. Seems to be... I assume he's going to be our first big lead to figuring out who... or what the whole deal with these drugs are. Oh, are we starting every episode with this? Okay, so it's the part of the title card. Oh, and the nice transition too into the episode. As the sun's already setting. No music. Oh, there we go. From behind? Really? What the heck? No shot that's an actual lead. I guess we're doing this now. Oh my god. Not the Stooges. These guys just do not give up. You are awfully beat up. Just gonna end it like that. Guess you might as well. I wonder why. I can't possibly imagine. Yeah. Huh. I guess there is that too, huh? I mean, I guess heteromorph stuff's kind of obvious, but it could just be in... I guess we really haven't seen any just permanent enhancing, huh? Most of them are things that you turn on. The kind he can't activate are the ones that are just clearly alter their form. Jeez, look at that. Yeah, because they've got the drugs now. He's a full porcupine now. Good lord. Ooh. Playing his little catchphrase. Dang, he's crazy strong. There's the tongue. Oh, and he's still here. Nice. Yeah, you're clearly not a good guy. There we go, Aizawa. You're just a good guy like that. You're just a real hero. Oh, that's interesting. Like over the shoulder. Not quite first person POV. The tongue. What is with those that eye? What? That's quite large. Yeah. Okay, he's the Lord's the building, and he's the Machamp. Sure. What the? Yeah, you're telling me about it. No run, idiot. Playtime? He just becomes like an infant? What the? Literally just ripped Batman. Boom. Oh, she needs to leap. Interesting. So it's a lot like his quirk then. They both need services. I want to be a hero, I assume. Of course. Yeah, he can't go vertical. Awesome. Oh. Very nice. That's awesome. But now you're falling. I just didn't think that far ahead. Wait, is he gonna get on it so he can slide on him? That's fun. That's a lot of fun. Ooh. Shrink back down. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be so clutch in a story where the main thing is the quirk enhancing drugs. Eraserhead goes so clutch. Of course. And your raps are perfect for that. Is that Scouchy? Tell me that's our boy. We're not gonna see him. Nice. I think they did pretty good. I mean, he pretty much solved the incident on his own, but still. Of different values. But there is value in that, right? And also a lot of danger in that. But you did save her.
いちいちそういう言い訳謙遜みたいなの意味ないしやめたら。お礼言おうと思ったけどうざいからなし。
光一、お前がなぜ落ちたか教えてやろう。
Explain to you why you
飛ん
fell?
だからだ。あとは着地の問題だな。俺に習ってゴミ捨て場に落ちたのは上出来だが
That's true, huh?
学ぶべきことは
I didn't even think about that.
いや、だから
Good
俺は
catch.
とかじゃないですってば。
I mean, you called him master, yeah. At least he started.
あれはついうっかりナックルさんって言いにくいし。
だからこそだ。ついとかとっさに出る言葉や行動、つまりそれがお前の本音だ。自覚しろ、ヒーロー志願。
いや、その理屈ってちょっと強引じゃないっすか。
Is that the mid card? Ooh, that's a really fun mid card. And we get a pop step one. Great.
そうそう喧嘩よ喧嘩。
なんだてめえ、シャスラー。なめたらあかんぞタコさんが。んだこれ、配達マンのまんとけやこのたら。
Just a brawl kicking out.
大暴れ。学生服着てるし高校生かな。
They're middle schoolers.
了解。すぐ行く。
Just kids being
お
kids.
前にいいものをやろう。
いいもの。
バイク用のプロテクターと
Ooh,
パー
that's
カーの下に
useful.
着るボディプロテクターだ。これで思いっきり加速ができる。
Very cool.
やめたまえ、君たち。ありゃ、
なんだお前。
Okay, I get the trash heap idea was a good idea, but you don't have to do it every
痛く
time.
ない。
いきなりてめえこれ親切マンじゃ悪党どもに舐められる。新しい名前も必要だ。
Jotaro, Josuke, stop fighting.
俺かい。俺の
Shinsetsuman.
謎めいた香りのする
The
男。
Crawler.
クローラ
That's actually not a bad name.
何言ってんだ親切マンだろお前
They already know Shinsetsuman.
よくゴミ拾いとかしてるやつか。
His name gets around. That's awesome. And they actually
ー。
respect
親切
him.
マン改めザ・クローラ
クローマン
ー。
Crawler is cooler.
クローマンじゃなくて。
Did he just none, none, none?
ほら。
Ooh, and that's rolling hard.
とにかく喧嘩は
I
や
thought
め
it
た
was
ま
pretty
え。
cool.
暴力は良くないぞ。
何仕切ってんだこれ。
何すんだ、やめたまえ。
Oh my god.
痛くない。
He's just happy about that.
やめな。
Actual laser eyes. Yeah, you really gotta learn how to some close combat.
貴様らのようなクズを
We can't just rely on him all the time.
なんだこのじじい。そこの小僧ども、今から貴様らを殴る。それからいくつか確かめることが。
I was about to make a comment about I don't know how legal that is, but then I remembered what I'm watching.
殴ってからの方が早いし確実だ。何よりスカッとする。
スカッとするために
His true feelings come out.
なぜだ。
なぜって。
Why not?
お前ら何。
Genuinely doesn't get it.
もうグダグダ。はーい、ちょっといいかな。
There we go. Bring on the charm.
ネットの動画いつも見てるぜあ俺もいいねしてるぜ
ありがとう。サインいる？
お願いします。
この人たちはね、悪い人じゃないんだけど、まともでもないっていうか。
俺はまともだってば。
どうだか。
硬いぞ。俺無敵。俺ベロより硬い。
Good for you. Nice. Ooh. At least the baby's okay.
よし
おいやべえだろあいつヒーロー呼べヒーロー
誰も俺を傷つけられね
Yeah.
え当たりが出たな行くぞ
はい。
なんて強えヴィランだ
トリガーって名前の普通の人をヴィランにしちゃう危ないトラックのせい。あの人たちはそれが出回るのを防ごうとしているボランティアってとこ。
Volunteer. It's a good way to put it.
俺は超人お前らパンピーごときが足元ちょろちょろしたって無駄なんだよ
俺に気を取られてる間に。
貴様ら即席ヴィランは自分の暴走した個性に慣れていない隙だらけだ。例えば貴様は高価の個性で体の表面を固めすぎて動きが鈍いだから、すぐ転ぶ。そして生まれついた異形ではなく意識的な効果である以上集中をかけばやばくなる。
Something he needs to keep on,
あ
yeah.
とは簡単回復の隙は与えない
Dang. They're like, that was about to be us.
調子に乗るからだバカめ。
もうやりすぎだし。
He's a villain.
気を失って効果が解けてきた。写真を撮って身元を割るぞ。
はい。
顔わからんの
Yep, maybe leave the face alone in the future.
本当にありがとうございました。いえいえ、よかったね。
Oh, adorable.
やっぱ写真も撮っておきますか。一応。
おう、下も写しておけ。下
トリガーを使ってる人間はベロが黒く変色するの。それが目印ってわけ。みんなも友達が手を出しちゃってないか気をつけてみて。何かあったらメールもらえる？
薬はよくねえなおおやべえよな
警察来ました。
よし、シュー
Boing, boing, boing. She's got such the pop idol attitude.
ライブも来てね。
あんたら一体何者だよ
俺たちは謎の新ヒーロ
Hmm.
ー。ナックルダスターとザ・クローラー。
But what about Pop Step? Just them? That's mean.
被疑者の身元はヴィランリストには該当なし。現在は一般の個性登録を照合中です。地元警察によると被疑者は高価に加え怪力や巨大化の個性を発揮していたそうで。 かなり派手なタイプだな。
すぐヒットしますよ。
Hey,
複合的個性は珍しいですからね。
いや、おそらく規制のリストからは特定できないだろう。
それはどういう
That is Scouchy.
血流障害による口腔部の変色、個性因子、イディオトリガー摂取の副
Good
作用、
blood flow. Huh.
いわゆる
Interesting.
突発性ヴィランだ。それにしてもすごい顔だな。対応したのはどこのヒーローだ。過剰行為で免停になるぞ。
それが
Hmm.
二人組のヒーローが戦っていた
Is that
という
him?
証言がありますが、この地域へのヒーロー出動は報告されていません。
なるほど。先日の超巨大ヴィ
I
ラン
don't think it is
同
him.
じだな。無認可のイリーガルヒーロー、ビジランテというわけか。
Hmm.
まあ何者であれ
I can't tell. The art style's a little different. I think it's him though.
おいおいサンサ。めったな
Also, it's hard to tell because
はい。
I can only think of him from the final arc where he looks so different.
相手がヴィランだろうがなんだろ
Pretty
う
sure
が
that's Scouchy.
個人による死刑行為は犯罪だよ。
Hmm.
今日の事件噂になってるよ。
新ヒーローの評判は。
なんかみんな怪人げんこつじじいとクロー
Freaky Fist Grandpa and the Crueler.
ザ・クローラー。
Close enough.
ザ・クローラーだってば。
Sidekick the Crueler.
校でヒーロー活動を始めたとはいえ、俺はしがない大学生というかぼっちな大学生。でもそんな俺だからこそ見つけられる事件もある。次回8
Hey.
暗躍の予感。
Oh. Alright, that was episode 2 of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I'm going to take a little break before we get into the next episode, and we're just going to go through the episode just so I have it in the front of my mind before we move on. I feel like a bit of an idiot now for expecting that they'd talk this out, because obviously Knuckle Duster is here and he's not one for words. So yeah, of course we get this brawl going on, and Eraserhead's quite good, and turns out this person actually is a lead of sorts, though he's really just a person who's taking the drug, so we don't really get much out of him. And then these guys just are still here. They just don't learn their lesson. They kind of get taken out by this guy, which is pretty incidental, and this is a really fun quirk. Playtime, he gets really big, like enormous, like ridiculously big. I guess not quite Mount Lady big, but bigger than the freaking office buildings around him. But it looks like his brain just super simplifies. He just enjoys playing around with things. So it's a fun little give and take of that quirk. I enjoy that a lot. And we get our first big hero moment from Koichi, which is great. And sure enough, we get him going on vertical surfaces, which is something I predicted. I wasn't expecting it to happen so soon, but it's cool the first time we get to see it is here when he has his first big moment of rescuing Pop Step, and it's a great moment. I mean, with the moonlight light there, like, you can already tell this is like an iconic shot, right? It's the moment where Midoriya runs in to save Bakugo, except it's also very different. It's got that similar feeling where he's just kind of rushing in, and this time, for the first time, he doesn't think that much. He just kind of goes for it. But unlike with Midoriya, this time it is a lot like with Midoriya, right? He goes in, tries to save her, tries to save the day, and is partially successful. He doesn't inspire anyone in this particular case, but he sort of gets saved by this big guy, but he has the right spirit, right? And it just kind of goes back to the idea that it takes more than wanting to be a hero to be one, right? You can't just want something badly to get it. You need to actually have the skill. You need to actually have the capability to do so. Without that, then you're just a wannabe, really. So it shows just how much he has to learn, how much more skill he has to get before he'll be ready for this. And this is something I had a feeling we were going to be getting into this sooner or later. Got into it quicker than I thought I would, so this is a great place to start talking about it. The idea of the Vigilantes. The fact that heroes are limited by what they can do and when they can do it. Us getting charged with something only happens after the deed is done, because you need a reason, right? You can't be arrested for being suspected of potentially doing something wrong. You have to have done something wrong to get arrested. So police, for the most part, and like law enforcement, aren't really capable of preventing an incident. They can try. They can put up, like, they can try to educate the people. They can try to patrol the streets and look for an incident so they can stop it, like, as soon as it happens, or even to, like, try to find people who, like, try to sneak in weapons or drugs or things like that. But the vast majority of incidents, you need to respond to them. That's why they're first responders, right? On the other hand, it kind of has to be like that. It's not like that as a flaw of the system. It's a necessity, because you can't just run around beating people up because you suspect they're doing something bad. There's a very good reason why police officers need, at least in America, they need a reason. They need a probable cause to search your car, or to ask for identification, or to enter your home, with few exceptions. But they need to make sure you are doing something bad, because they can't just say, oh, he's probably going to do something. Some do it anyways. I mean, profiling is a whole thing, right? But it's complicated, right? You don't want to live in a society where bad deeds are only punished after they happen, because the damages, you could argue, are already be done. But on the other side of that, law enforcement and police exist to provide a chilling effect on crime, and also to stop it from getting worse. Because it's not so black and white as it's just they do something bad and then the bad thing is done, right? If someone has God forbid, they have a gun, they bring it into a shopping mall, if they shoot somebody and then the police stop them, oh, glad you came here after the person's already dead. Well, what if they didn't come? How many more people would have died? So it's not as simple as, oh, they were there before or after the incident happened. It's a matter of minimizing casualties, minimizing damage. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. This is something I say a lot. I think most people who use it in jest. But there is something to it, because we've seen in the main story too how Deku and his classmates have gotten in trouble for doing the right thing, even though they're technically not allowed to. And I can already tell the show's going to grapple a lot. I mean, it's in the name of the show, Vigilantes. It's going to grapple a lot with how blurry the line of legality really is, and whether doing something right or doing something the right way, how much overlap there is and how much disparity there is, and where those lines can be drawn, if they can be drawn. There are times where it's not easier to ask for forgiveness and permission, but it's necessary. There are times, and I think in the Western culture, we're like almost obsessed with this, of the protagonist of a movie or something going behind the law enforcement's back to try to save the day, right? It's a... Sorry about that. I don't know why my throat's not playing nice today, probably because I ran earlier. It's like a staple of the comic book industry, even of the comic book world, where you're vigilantes, right? You go behind the law to try to stop things before they happen, because maybe you have information that law enforcement doesn't. Maybe you were tipped off on something. Maybe you just bumped into somebody and you realized something bad was going to happen, but you don't have proof of it. Are you wrong for stopping an incident, even though you're technically not allowed to and not supposed to, and you're putting people's lives at risk? I think most of us, especially if we watch those movies, we read those comics, we would say yes. But how colored is that perspective? What if you try to start an incident, you try to stop an incident, but you end up creating a bigger one? What if you try to save people, but you end up getting more people hurt? Look at Gentle Criminal from the main show. I think we've been conditioned in stories where everything turns out all right to believe that the ends justify the means. And I don't think I need to get on my soapbox and explain to you why that is a very, very dangerous mentality to have. I'm not saying these people are wrong. I'm not saying these comic books and these movies are wrong. These characters are wrong for doing these things, but I think we need to be aware and be cautious when we allow the ends to justify the means. With that being said, there are definitely times when forgiveness is better than permission. It's sometimes necessary. And he just rolls with it because of course he is. He's Knuckle Duster. Of course he's going to roll with it. And then he ends up being a little bit self-deprecating. I think it's fun. It's nice and disarming. I think it's great. I don't know why she responds like this. She's very snarky, just kind of her personality. But I think part of it is also just her not really being honest with herself, not being comfortable expressing her feelings. And yes, I'm aware that it's very in line with her character, right? As we've seen it with her, how she presents herself. She's literally wearing a mask. She's more than Koichi, more than Knuckle Duster. She has a day job and a night job, ironically, because she's the only one who doesn't have a job. I assume Knuckle Duster, I assume he has a job. But she has her like high school life, right? And then she puts on this crazy outfit, this pop idol outfit. She paints on a little mask and she goes out there. So she's literally putting on a mask. And it's a great metaphor for how she also seems to have trouble really expressing herself and really synchronizing with her own feelings. And I wonder if this is something that happens when she's out here, when she's dressed like this, when she's in her pop step persona, because she's like in her mask mode, or if she's just generally like this. She's used to suppressing herself, so she has that kind of disconnect with her, how she really feels and how she wants to express herself. And perhaps pop step is a way of expressing that, a way of trying to get in touch with herself. But either way, it's very fitting, especially with the two-sided duality of her character. And it's really interesting. I just kind of said it when I was thinking. When I wasn't thinking. Well, it just slipped out. And it's a mouthful. All the more reason. Whatever slips out, whatever you say you do in the moment, that's the real you. I think I was talking about this in JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen. This is reminiscent of the idea that when people are in a crisis, their true nature slips out. Their true nature is revealed. It was back in JJK season 1, I remember. I think it was like episode 5 or 6. The idea that when you're actually in the moment, then when your life is in danger, the truest you comes out, because obviously you don't have the energy or the time to put up a mask, so all masks fall away. Back then I commented that it's a little bit reductive to say your true nature comes out in these moments, because true nature, like your essence, sort of implies that it's unchanging. But that's not true, right? The more you experience things, the more used to it you get, and you could argue the better you are putting on a mask, but really just better you get at adapting to it, at changing to it. So I like this phrasing better. That's the real you. Because the real you is ever changing, right? It's your identity. No one's identity is static. Or at least it shouldn't be. You should desire, seek out, and welcome change. So I think that's true. Whatever slips out, whatever happens before you have a chance to second guess yourself is the closest thing to the truest you. So yeah, it makes sense. And I appreciate it. It is the real you. It doesn't mean it can't change. It very much can, but getting faster and gets results, and it makes me feel better. True feelings. But yeah, it's nice that it's nice to be put in those circumstances. Obviously, you don't want to be put in life or death circumstances, but it's a great way to allow yourself to learn who you are. That's why I think in general it's a good idea to not shelter yourself and to allow yourself to properly experience life and to put yourself in stressful and act in the moment circumstances, because it's in those moments that you show who you are to other people and also oftentimes to yourself. We are often not who we think we are. And I think that it's too easy to convince yourself you're one type of person, which is why so often maybe you don't necessarily, but there are so often cases where people who get in these life or death situations, who get in these crises, are shocked by what they're capable of and the kind of person they can be. And I think that's because they've built the idea of themselves and they haven't been in these situations to really connect and figure out who they are. So I think these moments are really important to connect with yourself and to get in touch with that true you. And if you don't necessarily like it, to start working to change it or working to shift it towards something that you like more. And I think it's important. It's easy to not think about, especially in our world of comfort. And that's going to be a running joke, I can tell. But that's the episode. That was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next one, which we'll get into right now. So hang tight, and I will see you with episode 3 in just a moment. Well, I continue to be incredibly good at my job, and I forgot to hit record for the second episode, so there's no reaction for that one. Sorry about that. Man, I'll just repeat my discussion that I just had. It'll be pretty short, though. There's not too much to talk about this episode. It's just a lot of fun, a really fun episode. But there is some things that I want to mention, especially some things that I relate with a good bit, especially this bit about the college life. I joined the Marine Corps after about 2.5 years into my time in community college, which I went to do straight after high school. I was just kind of spinning my wheels. And when I left the Marine Corps, I decided to go back and finish my college education. I went to a university and I decided I wanted to have the college life, the dorm life. So I decided to move into the dorms because I can kind of relate to this. The idea of going out for this experience to experience this new thing, right? And to see what it's like. For a similar reason, for the last 7 months or so, I've been living in Chicago. And when I moved here, I decided to find a high-rise apartment so that I could live like the fullest urbanite life, if you would. Now, I am not actually an urbanite myself. I love suburban feel. I love quieter places, but I wanted to have this experience under my belt, see what it's like. And as a result, I decided to think of the thing that would best encapsulate that life. And I decided a high-rise apartment would be the way to do it. It ended up being way harder on my finances than I was ready for it to be, but I don't regret it. And I don't regret moving to the dorms to experience the college life either. With that being said, I can relate to Koichi a lot here because I didn't really get this either. I didn't really get the experience I was expecting. And not all of it was because of the college. A lot of it was because of me, my own mental health. And some of it was maybe just the college itself. It was kind of what's the term? It was kind of not a transfer college, but it's a college where people like come and go. So there's not a whole lot of like life there as you would from a lot of universities. And perhaps some of it was just that I wasn't like in the right circles. And I only really found my in-group right before I left, basically. So I didn't quite get the experience I was looking for there. I think here I'm definitely getting a lot more of that. But at the same time, I can't really say I regret it. And nor do I feel betrayed that I didn't really get the life that I wanted to get. And I think that's inherent to experiences, right? It's the idea that if you seek out a new experience and you have an idea of what it's going to be like and you actually hope it comes true and it happens like that, then the experience kind of loses its value, doesn't it? The whole point of new experiences is that you can experience them and you can expand your worldview and experience things you haven't experienced before. It's in the word. It is the word. So by their very nature, they should be different from what you expected, especially since, at least if you're like going to a college dorm, you're expecting a dorm life. It's probably largely stereotypes of like what you see either in school or in movies, in shows, or from your friends even, but that's not reality. We experience reality so we can see things we haven't seen before. And yet, when when an experience is different from how we imagined, a lot of times we pull back from it. Kind of interesting because we tend to think that, well, we want new things. Obviously, we want to experience life. And at the same time, we want to believe that we know things. We don't want our beliefs challenged. We don't want our foundation shaken. We want to feel grounded and feel like we've experienced the world as we go out and seek experiences. So as we experience things and they're not quite what we expected, we tend to pull back from it. And Koichi does a little bit here too. He has a good reason to. He's working a part-time job, even though he wanted to enjoy drinking with his buddies. But I think it's important to roll with the punches and it's not wrong to go in expecting something and to expect an experience to be a certain way, but you should be open to it being not as you expected, because that's part of the joy of it, right? And to his credit, I think Koichi comes around to this a little bit. He does appreciate what he's gotten here. It's not so bad. Koichi did get a little bit more than I did. This is a really fun dynamic he's got here. And it's not really college life either. He's the only one of these three who's in college, but he's got this great attitude of just taking things as they come. And I really appreciate that. And I think it's easier said than done to actually live that life, because it's very easy. It's very it's in our nature, biologically, neurologically, to want to resist things that are different from how we imagined. Again, because of that identity, because of that foundation. We want to believe we know things. We want to be right. We feel pleasure about being right. That's why most people really like predicting shows and like trying to see where they're going, and why a lot of people are disappointed when it doesn't go in the direction they were expecting. I've been guilty of this a few times, though I'm not much of a predictor. As you can probably tell, my forte is in analysis. So I like taking things as they come and analyzing what I've been given and appreciating things for what they are. But it's a lot easier said than done to just look at it and go, this isn't so bad either. It's not so bad either. And I think that's great. And this is super cute. This is super, super cute. I like this. It's so funny how he's accidentally smooth and also very not smooth, which kind of proves that it is accidental. It's not an act. He's not intentionally being like this, because he's pretty obtuse. It's your typical, when a protagonist is smooth, they're often like this, right? They're accidentally smooth. And when they say things that are such a good expression, when they say things that are very much not smooth, you realize, oh yeah, they kind of just like stumbled into it and got lucky. And the more you speak, the more you reveal who you really are. And he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. I think it's not a detraction to say he's not smooth, right? Because he's genuine, he's honest, and I like it. And speaking of things I like, I really like this character design. It's really subtle. She's obviously got like the orange of the bow, the orange hair, and she's got like her own design going on in the upper half. So it's easy not to notice the fact that she's got the like stockings, the leggings, whatever you call them, of the black and yellow. I mean, bees, right? Bees. Hachitsuka. It's the word for bee. And of course it's about, she's got like thousands of bees inside of her or something. I don't know. It's really weird. Speaking of really weird, Endeavor, I don't like seeing him like that. He looks so weird in this art style. It doesn't look weird. I'm just not used to it. And we just get the fanfare fest here of, I guess, just all of UA was just taking a nice night out with a couple extra heroes. And Knuckle Duster he's just a naturally violent guy. He's just here to report that things are going weird, and he's just so violent with him just because he can. And we get a bit of a dark atmosphere, a dark foreboding tone about what presumably is going to be the larger plot of, at the very least, this season, if not where things are going in the future. I'm excited for the next one. If you're excited as well, please do subscribe to get notified as soon as the new episode comes out. I'm watching them, as you can see, twice each video, and it'll be every Saturday. If you do really like it, please do give it a like. It helps me out. It shows the algorithm that you like it, so it shows it to more people so we can build our community. Same thing with commenting. If there's something in the episode that I didn't talk about or something I skipped over that you want to bring to my attention or you want me to talk about more in the next episode, just leave it in the comments. Similarly, if there's something that I said that you agree or disagree with or something you want to build off of, in comments. I would love to interact with you and see you down there. I read every single one. I love doing it. So whatever you do, though, thank you so much for watching. And until the next one, where there are hopefully less technical difficulties, and I've actually got the double episode for you. But until then, have a lovely rest of your day.